So today, I got a little run in. I was thinking to myself about an idea today. And I think the best one for today is going to have to be the 5 year rule. I call this a 5 year rule because I followed this most of my life. There's times where I may have deviated from such, but it's something I truly believe in. It's something that I do think makes a huge difference in your life and can set yourself onto another trajectory in your life. Uh, the biggest thing is I hold this idea very true to me. I do hold it very close to my heart as well. Something that I shared with somebody a while back, and it meant a lot to me to be able to share that. And hopefully, with me sharing that, that person was able to elevate to such a degree that they do buy into the whole idea of moving forward in life. And I tell you guys this because it's super important to understand that your mind does not work with time the way that you think. It does not register time in the way that you think it does. You may look at stuff and think, well, I can see myself doing that maybe, I don't know, or yeah, okay, in the short term, great. Your mind cannot register a super length of time. It's just not how your brain is wired out. It's not the way it's meant to be. Whether you believe in a higher spirit or not, God obviously doesn't also let you see past a certain point, really, because that type of infinite vision just would not be good. You're never meant to be able to see past your life at all. It's just not something you actually brain can make happen. So I follow the 5 year rule because I have found that through my entire life, if I can see myself, truly visualize myself, and I mean have a mind movie of myself 5 years from now, seeing that specific idea, what I want to do, who I want to be around, where I want to live, any single thing in your life that you can think about, your career, even a career change, if you can see yourself living that in 5 years and truly make a mind movie and see that with a true comfortability, I would say, that you can honestly feel that in your heart, you can do that. That 5 year rule, that's true then. That's where you're supposed to be. That's the true journey of your life. In that meantime, it might be hard. I mean, it really might be. I think that in that time frame, things can really change. People in and out of your life, a job in and out of a job. But in 5 years, can you see yourself at that last portion of that 5 year plan? And if you can truly visualize yourself doing that, that is where you're supposed to be. That is what you're supposed to put your mind to, and your physical abilities to, and your mental abilities, and your soul, your emotional, whatever, everything. If you put your all into that in 5 years, you will accomplish that. And that is the life that you will live. There's no question. That is what you're meant to do. In life, you may look at things and you might think you're meant to do them, but you can't really see yourself doing it. It just doesn't really make sense. You're like, nah, I just can't see that. Because you're not meant to do that. That is something that you are never going to understand, because your life is meant for a certain trajectory, and it's meant to be open and limitless, and nothing is impossible. But you are still on a path. You can achieve that path that may seem impossible any other time. But if you go against the grain, you're not going to achieve it. And I say this because when I was younger, probably about 22, I lived, an okay life, graduated college, worked in the oil field for a little while, and I thought the oil field was where I was going to be, making some good money, not really using my degree, but that's okay. Started my own business. I was 22, 23 with my own business, doing as well as I thought I could, but feeling super empty. And I felt like something was wrong. And, I was driving, delivering hot shot loads and stuff, and the oil field and things like that. And I tell this story to everybody because I truly wholeheartedly believe this story, that it will change the way you maybe think about your own life. Just in what can change, the smallest thing can change your vision. I can tell you that I was driving sometime. It was out in Ohio. I was taking a load. The day before, I had hauled a load out of somewhere pretty close to my house, waited a few hours, even more hours, more go by, 12, 14, 16 hours, after I just had got back from New Jersey driving over a day, just super depressed and tired. Had this weird feeling like this is not where I'm supposed to be. And I mean, truly not where I'm supposed to be. Everything inside of me felt like I was going against the grain. So, I call my mom on the phone. I'm young. I'm like, I'm just not feeling it. Start breaking down because, I just felt like didn't understand my trajectory at all, man. I really didn't understand my life. Everything felt wrong. Nothing felt right. I didn't know what was going on. And just rolled down and didn't understand them type of emotions and that feeling, and so I broke down to my mom a little bit, and I picked myself back up a little bit. Next morning I go to Ohio and I deliver this load out to this gas station, right? They're putting in these tanks in the ground. And it's funny. I sit there, 20 some years old, early 20s, got a nice truck, nice trailer, all brand new stuff, did it myself. Didn't get no loans, did it all with my own cash I saved up from working in the oil field and stuff. And I felt I should be happy. I felt I should be happy. I'm standing there, I'm watching them take this load off. And I tell this story because this is the truest story that changed my entire life. Sitting there and some old dude came up and, he's standing next to me and truck stopped, and he's talking to me and he's like, "Hey man, that's your truck and trailer right there." I said, "Yeah, that's mine," And he was like, "Man, wow." Looks at me again. He was like, "Man, all that stuff right there, you don't seem real happy. Like, what's up?" And I said to him, I was like, I'm just not happy. It just doesn't feel right. It's not for me. And he looks at me dead in the eyes, still remember him to this day. And he said, if you work a job that you hate every day will become worse than the day prior. And no matter what, you will never have happiness. And I remember I sat there, just some random dude just told me that. I sat down, stood there, put my head down, thought about it for a second. I go to look back up, turn around where I thought the guy would have been, gone. We're in a huge parking lot. Dude's probably 70 years old, gone. Never saw him again. Didn't get his name. Have no idea where the guy went, how he even went. I mean, you're talking matter of seconds. The reason why I tell that story is, that right there planted this very small seed in my brain. And I mean, it was so impactful that I instantly knew, yep, done, changing my life. And I sat there and, I get the load done and I'm driving on the turnpike back from Ohio, and I sit there and man, what can I see myself doing in 5 years? What can I see myself doing, truthfully? I think about the career I'm in now and I start to realize, oh, wow, I can see myself doing it. I mean, I can see myself going through the school. I can see myself at the place working. I can see myself where I can live, what I can do, everything. I can see it all right there, right in front of me. Bang, just everything. Instant clarity, instant feeling right, man. And I do believe that the person I met that day, I don't care what you believe in, God, an angel, it was something like that. There's no question. That little seed, completely changed my life. And, from then on, I pushed super hard, went through it all, sold everything I owned, completely poor, broke, had nothing, literally nothing. Walked to school every day for 2 years, lived with my parents, walked to the gym, did everything as low as I could. I wanted to make sure I really felt it. Did it all one try through. Took me about 2.5 years. Finished it all, that first portion. Started working the place I dreamed of, that I saw in that 5-year plan. You can see it just all start falling in line. In that 5 years, I had a hell of a time, man. I mean, I had a hell of a time too. We can go into that in some other time, but there was a lot of things that changed in that 5 years, but the end result was still literally what I needed, what I wanted, what I believed in. It was right there. And I say that because I was able to share that later in life the 5-year idea with somebody, and it was one of the most true things I was able to give to somebody. One of the best ideas, one of the best visualization, ideologies, whatever you want to call it, that they could use for their life. And truthfully, that 5 years can change in between. But what you see at the end and what you write down on a piece of paper, every idea you have on that piece of paper, it might take the 5th year. It might take the 5th year. Do you understand what I'm saying? The 3rd, 2nd, 4th year, it may not be there. That 5th year, though, it's all there. Because that's what you believe in and that's what you're going to achieve. So don't get discouraged when you think you see it, you play the mind movie, and you truly wholeheartedly believe in it. And all of a sudden, no, things start going awry, and things ain't going right. Maybe a career change, not career change, but job change is not what you thought. Maybe you're in school and it got a little tough. Maybe you had to restart something. Friendships. Maybe some are gone for now. Okay. Relationships. Maybe they might be gone for that time being. 5-year plan. It all will come together. So I want you to think about the timeline. I want you to think about where you're at. I want you to truly believe in what you're doing and who you believe in and what you're at. It will come no matter what. Don't throw away what you see in that 5-year plan. Nothing. Don't throw any of it away. But understand, it'll come when it comes within that time. Don't force it, but keep going after it. Never give up, because that is where you're supposed to be. Even if you think that it might seem that nothing makes sense in that time, you might be going through a trial or tribulation during that time. But the end result of that 5-year goal, that 5-year plan will occur. And if you go through something horrible and hard in the meantime, you'll still get it. And it'll feel so much better when you do. Because you knew that you could have gave up like somebody else because you didn't get it right away. Every idea that you have that you can see yourself is meant for you. May not be the right time in that moment, that second. But it's the right time for you in the future. It's the right time for you when it comes. That's the right time. But keep pushing. Don't delay something that you believe in. You may miss out on the opportunity because just because you can see it and the 5-year plan is true, and that's the truest thing I could ever give you guys, doesn't mean that you can't ruin it. Believe me, you can. I always say, you never want to be in the end of your life and really, truly in your heart say, what if? I don't mean, I wish I would have worked more. I wish I would have made more money. No, I mean truly, what if? And each one of you have a decision that each one of you need to make, and you know that you feel it inside. Might be hard to make that decision. You might be looked at weirdly for making that decision. People might not be behind you for making that decision. But understand, when the highest level of things are meant for you, you will always achieve them if you put your mind to it. But the journey to achieve them can be one of the hardest, enlightening, tear you down journeys in your life. But the end result, that's what makes it worth it. Believe in it. Don't let anybody else tell you what you can and can't do. Don't let anybody else tell you that you can't achieve something. Ever. If you truly want it, keep your mind in it. You will get it. It will come to you. Don't be blinded by hurt from anything else in your life. Don't be blinded from your past. Your past will never dictate your future, but your path can show your present Your past can sure ruin your future, is what I mean. Your past can ruin your future if you let your past dictate your future. So keep after it. And just remember, no matter what, don't ever give up on it.